What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? The Meat Pack is back in the building here to bring you the meat picks. What that is going to be is we're going to break down every single game this weekend because the NFL is back, baby. It's been a long, exciting off-season. Drafts, free agents, you name it. We are here to get ready. We got NFL football back in action, baby. So what we're going to go ahead and do is break down all these games. We're going to each give our opinion on the score, the money line, and just throw in our 2 cents of why we think that is. So what we're going to do, what I'm going to do, Richie, pull that graphic up because I'm going to get us started off. We're talking Tampa Bay Bucks, Dallas Cowboys, right? America's favorite team, Super Bowl champs versus America team. Been watching that Hard Knocks lately. Some really good stuff. But so all in all, I think this one's kind of a given. I think we can all agree Tampa Bay Bucks, man, just straight up win this game. How that happens, I'm not too sure. One, just kind of obviously coming off the high from the Super Bowl. And, I think at the end of the day, I had the Bucks in the long run to still kind of be the favorite to at least make it back to the Super Bowl. They brought the entire team back. Tom Brady, 44 years old, still showing no signs of quitting. And just at the end of the day, that's a really, really solid team. And I mean, with the Cowboys year in, year out on paper, they probably have one of the best teams in the league as far as talent goes. And I'm not going to lie, that Hard Knocks got me really, really hype about this team. Mekhi Parsons and some pieces they got. I'm really excited to watch this Cowboys team. Shout out Dak Prescott being back, but Cowboys are going to have a lot on their plate tonight, and I'm not too sure if – I mean, they're probably going to score some points. They're going to look good, but between Tampa's defense and just, Tom Brady going out slanging that thing, I mean, I don't really see another outcome here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a speed bump for Dak to get back, and this is probably a nightmare matchup for him to get back in the groove of things. Going down to Tampa Bay, they had the best front seven in the NFL to begin with, so right. It's gonna be a long night for Dak Prescott, I think. Give me the Bucks here.
Yeah, completely agree. I think the Bucks win this one going away. The Cowboys, bro, like you said, Dak coming back is going to be rough for him to start. You got the Bucks returning like every single person on that roster. It seems like all they did was get better and return every person from that Super Bowl team. So this one shouldn't be competition. They should just absolutely destroy them. I'm going Bucks all the way here.
I agree with the boys. I'm on the Bucks here. I think the Cowboys are going to have a really slow start to this. I mean, they sucked ass all through this preseason, had a real rough go, a real bad look on that Hard Knocks. But I think in the second half, they are going to, find some holes and start to piece together some points here. So I don't know. I think Bucks win it, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Final score?
28-17 from your boy there.
38-28.
Whoa.
Give me a 35-24 Bucks.
I'm going 28-13. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to score that much. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. All right, we got the Indianapolis Colts and the Seattle Seahawks going off. At the end of the day, I mean, Indianapolis had a pretty interesting offseason, obviously bringing in Carson Wentz. We had some injuries going on there with a foot. We saw some injuries to Quentin Nelson, who's probably top 3 offensive lineman in the league. So, I mean, hey, listen, I think Indianapolis is a really good team. I think Seattle is a really good team as well. It's just more or less, what the last 5-6 games of the season are going to look like for these teams. We've seen time and time again, especially with Indianapolis last year with Phillip Rivers. I mean, quarterback alone, the Indianapolis Colts have a very, very solid foundation. So if Carson Wentz can come in and kind of have any sort of inkling of what he was able to do in that 2017 season, I mean, this is going to be a good football team. And I mean, Seattle, I'm not going to lie. There's first 10 weeks of the season last year, they obviously look like a Super Bowl lock. Russell Wilson's going to go out there and eat DK, Tyler Lockett. I don't think they addressed enough holes this season. You know what I'm saying? They still need a lot of help on the offensive line. I still think their running backs, man, between who they got, what's his name there, the boy. I don't think those guys are solid enough to necessarily take you over the top or not. So I'm not going to lie. All in all, I think this is a close game. I got Seattle coming out 24-21 just because I think we're going to see a little bit of offense. I do like the Colts defense, though, so that might come back to bite me in the ass just, from their front seven and whatnot, Darius Leonard. But I still think just this is what Seattle does. The first, like I said, 10 weeks every season, they're going to come out. Their offense is going to be on fire. So I don't see that stopping on Sunday. And I have them coming out by just a field goal.
Yeah, I think these are two definite playoff teams for sure. But as you mentioned before, Seattle's game plan pretty much is just to sling the ball and score. Their defense is pretty much non-existent besides Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. So they just got to go out there and sling it. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. Their defense can't stop anything. So I think this ends up being a close game, but I'd like the Seahawks to get the dub here for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Completely agree. I think the Seahawks are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I got 31-27 Hawks. Russ comes out, like you guys said, beginning of the season. That's what he does. Colts are going to be good too. I mean, I think Carson Wentz, as long as he can stay healthy, this is definitely a playoff team. But it's going to be another good game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm not so sure about either of these defenses, but I think it'll be a good game overall. Like I said, Hawks by 4.
I got complete opposite take than y'all. I got the Colts winning this 20-17. I do think it's going to end up being a close game here. And the reason I'm giving the edge out to the Colts here is that just defensive body, dude. They got some units back.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that pick at all, bro. I could
shut some shit down. So I'm going Colts here. And again, 2017. I do think it'll be a close one. Like you boys said, that Seattle offense, the first 5 weeks of the season is just fire. So we'll see if they can go out there and make something happen. But I'm going Colts, baby.
Let's hope Carson Wentz, man, is back being healthy. I like watching him play, and hopefully when he does play, he's not assed. So definitely excited to watch that game. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game here. We have the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just a dumpster fire of a football game that unfortunately I will watch because it's on Red Zone. And I mean, I don't know what to say here. Obviously, Houston had a slew of issues going on this offseason and whatnot. Big shout out to Tyrod Taylor, though, for being able to get this start. It's unfortunate why he is starting, but I think this is a man who is a starting quarterback in the NFL and hasn't necessarily been able to get his fair shake. So, and then on the other sides with Jacksonville, probably one of the most interesting teams to kind of stew up over this offseason with, obviously getting Trevor Lawrence, the next coming, and Urban Meyer saga. They had the Tim Tebow saga there for a little bit. I'm not going to lie, though, watched a couple Jacksonville Jaguars preseason games, and that was not fun to watch at all. That is a horrendous football team. Just absolutely no offense. Just good luck to the Jacksonville fans. That's going to be about 5 more years before they figure that thing out. But I mean, same things with the Texans as well. So I want to make this is somewhat interesting. I got Jacksonville coming out 13-10. I just don't think either one of these offenses are able to figure it out. I don't even know if it gets to that many points, but I don't care who wins this game. This is trash.
Yeah. I think this is probably the best warm-up game you could ask for being Trevor Lawrence.
True.
I think Houston, it's either going to be Houston or Lion ends up with the worst record. Houston's in full tank mode with everything with Deshaun going on and just everything is surrounding it. Just a nightmare. So I think give me the Jags here. Simple enough.
Yeah, this game fucking sucks, dude. I don't want to watch this game, but like you said, I probably will. First week, but
Hanson's going to make me watch it.
The Trevor Lawrence, like you said, I'm interested to watch him play. That's probably the only reason I watch this game, just to see what he can come out and do against this Texans D, which is going to be non-existent. I probably couldn't name more than 5 players on the Texans right now. But Tyrod Taylor, I mean, deserves to start. So I'm excited to watch him play, excited to watch Trevor Lawrence come out, see what he could do. I got the Jags. That's it.
Yep, I'm taking Jags as well. I'm going 24-14. Jags win at home season opener. Obviously hype around Trevor Lawrence, but I'm more excited for this boy James Robinson in the backfield for this Jags. Last year, undrafted free agent rookie, balled out, got himself a contract, and got running back 1 spot this year. So look for some big plays out of him. And then on the other side of the ball there, obviously everyone just wants to see Tyrod Taylor play some football and not get a lung punctured or something.
Yeah, not get a needle in his heart. Yeah.
It's so unfortunate. Everyone knows his story, so we're not going to harp on it, but hopefully he can get some reps and get himself a good job on another team next year.
No, definitely excited to sort of watch how these teams unfold. Obviously, the product on the field might not be interesting, but we got some teams here that are rebuilding that I think in a couple of years will be in a good position to have something ready to go. So that being said, what we're going to do is move on to the next game. We are talking the Atlanta Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to tiptoe this because I'm talking to 3 Eagles fans right now. But Falcons about to put a beat down on that arse just because, the Falcons offense has absolutely never been the problem for them in the past couple of years, especially with last year. We saw so many games where they're in the 30-plus point range and just were not able to secure a lead on defense. And I mean, listen, I think the Eagles, I know you guys are big fans and whatnot, but there's a little reality to this situation, man. This is rebuild mode for the Eagles. Like, I'm talking Jalen Hurts. They're not even confident and know if Jalen Hurts is the future for them. I think obviously this year will be a big test to that. Obviously going out and getting the boy there from Alabama to be a receiver, Devonta Smith. But I mean, Matt Ryan, dude, is a really good quarterback. I feel like that goes underrated a lot because he has sort of a nasty contract and whatnot. But the man's a former MVP, and I think now being in his second year with head coach Arthur Smith, they're really going to be able to conjure up some good offense, man. They went out and got Kyle Pitts. Yes, they did lose Julio Jones, but I think Calvin Ridley has proven the past 2 years that I think this year he's going to be able to sort of take over that position. So, and I could ask you guys right now, you guys couldn't name me 3 players in the Eagles secondary. So the Atlanta Falcons about to eat up, score some points. So overall score, let me double check real quick what I have it at. I got Falcons going 31-10 Falcons. Eagles aren't scoring a damn thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think this game's got a blowout script written all over it. As you mentioned before, Eagles secondary is pretty much non-existent. I think the same can be said for the Falcons as well, though.
True.
I think this is probably a game where they let Jalen Hurts just run loose here. I could see him easily breaking off a couple 20-yard runs.
Yeah.
I think going down to Atlanta, I think the Eagles are just a better football team at this point. So give me the Eagles here, 30-28.
Whoa! That's wild, bro.
I like
no
that
way.
I agree. I agree with you all the time, Twig. I think the Eagles are definitely coming away with a dub here. I think the pass rush is going to get to them. Falcons' offensive line, I just think, is weak. They've never that couple years have not had a good offensive line. That Eagles D line is good. It's deep. I think if you can get to Matt Ryan, he's not a mobile quarterback. You take him out of the pocket and I mean, you don't give those receivers time to get down the field, and this could be like a low-scoring game. You don't need the Eagles to put up 40 points. They could put up 20 and win this game here. So I got the Eagles.
Ooh, that's juicy. All right, so Eagles fan here, obviously, but I got the boys, the Birds, taking an L in this game, 28-24. All right, I do think both of these teams have non-existent secondaries, like you guys said. I think some points are going to be scored. But to Cruz's point, he just said this Falcons O-line is really in some trouble. Their starting left guard just went down, Josh Andrews. Jalen Mayfield is playing his first NFL game, and he's going to have to line up against veteran Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
Boy's about to get baptized a little bit right there. But on the flip side of that, it takes about 2 seconds for Calvin Ridley to run 80 yards to the end zone. So I do think some points are going to get scored here. I do think it's going to be a shootout rather than a defensive game. I'm going 28-24. Falcons, man, dude, I can't even get it out of my mouth. I hate to say that, but I think Eagles are going to lose.
No, I mean, they definitely are. So, I mean, shout out Jalen Mills. What we're going to do is now move on to the next game. We are tossing the Washington football teams. Soon will be known as the Red Wolves or whatever they decide to come up with. Who cares? I think they stay with football team. But Washington football team against the LA Chargers. This is another game I was a little conflicted because obviously Washington was able to come out on top of the NFC least last year and whatnot. And this is another team where I think they have a very, very solid foundation. And I think at minimum, this team breaks even this year as far as record goes. I do think as of right now, they are the best team still in the NFC East. But the only thing that concerns me is that quarterback play. Obviously, getting Fitzpatrick and whatnot. I mean, listen, no one would ever say they dislike Fitzpatrick. He's a guy you love and whatnot, but he's going to win you some games. But that's about it, just some games. You know what I'm saying? He's going to go in there. They're going to play good. They're going to win some games, but it comes crunch time and playoff time. I mean, that's kind of why Ryan Fitzpatrick has been in the situations he's been in, because he's never been able to sort of cross that hump. He'll look really good for 5 or 6 weeks and then remind you that, hey, that's why he's been on 12, 13 teams. But I do like the Los Angeles Chargers as well, man. This is a tough one for me, only because obviously Justin Herbert coming in last year's rookie year and just kind of absolutely lighting it up. And I mean, my only thing with the Chargers is between the Raiders and the Chiefs and not really the Broncos so much, but I feel like that's going to be a tough division for them. And I feel like, they went out and made some really good offseason moves to kind of booster up the offensive line for Justin Herbert, and obviously add some pieces to that defense. So if Justin Herbert has a repeat season of what he did last year, the Chargers are going to be a scary team to face, right, from an offensive standpoint. But the Washington football team is also very scary from a defensive standpoint. That front seven is crazy. Chase Young coming into his second year, dude's about to be Michael Strahan on crack. And you know what I'm saying? I like the offensive pieces they have from the running back, wide receiver, Scary Terry, love what they have going on. It's just going to come down to that quarterback play. Fitzpatrick ain't the answer. Heineke ain't the answer. So they still probably have a year or two where they need to figure that out. But all in all, I got Chargers 20-17 winning this game, because I just think the offense will overpower Washington's defense, but Washington's defense will be able to keep it from kind of being a close blowout. So
this might be a controversial take, but I think the football team probably has the best chance to win this division. I think they improved. I think they improved on both sides of the ball at the offseason with the acquisition of Curtis Samuel, and they got better on defense as well. With Ryan Fitzpatrick having his weapons around him, it might be a really good situation for them as a whole. I think he might put some numbers up here that people might not expect. I do think the Chargers end up being a good team as well, with Herbert being in his second year and everything with that, with Derwin James coming back on defense as well. But I'd like the football team to get it done here. Give me 27-20, I think.
Okay. Listen, I agree with most of what you guys are saying. I think the football team is going to be good this year. They feel like they're a 500 team the past couple of years. They're just kind of staying steady. Yeah, they're good. But I'm going to speak a little bit to the Chargers here. I think they're a really scary team, definitely underrated this year. Like you guys have been saying, I mean, Herbert, everybody knows, beast rookie season. He's only going to get better probably. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, I think they've been kind of lacking, but you get Derwin James back. You got Joey Bosa still there, Melvin Ingram. That's a good defense they got going all around. Yup. And then you get Austin Eckler back on the offensive side of the ball. I think they're going to be a good team this year. They're definitely going to be scary. So I got the Chargers taking this one home 24-13.
Nice. I'm on the same page as pretty much everything y'all saying. Just a couple things to add. I think both of these teams' offenses are going to take a couple weeks to start to get going. We know both these teams are going to be able to put up some points. Washington with Antonio Gibson and Scary Terry out there in the slot or on the outside. He lines up wherever the boy wants. And then this Chargers offense is kind of insane if you really look at it on paper. So I think it is going to take a little bit of time for it to start getting into that jive. I think it's going to be a low-scoring week one. I got Chargers edge here. Chargers win 17-13 here. Low score.
You're all on the Chargers, then?
I'm on Chargers.
Mm-hmm. I'll go with the Chargers, man. I like it a lot. So that being said, though, going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We're talking the Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, I got Buffalo Bills winning this game. My score was 24-20 Buffalo. I couldn't think of a score. I feel like the Buffalo Bills are going to win. I don't know why. Obviously they have a great team. They proved it last year. Josh Allen, potential MVP running. He got that bag this offseason. They went out and got some good pieces. They have a very, very good general manager that, you know what I'm saying? When you look at the draft class he was in between, obviously Sam Darnold, the Josh Rosens, the Bills very much were able to, hey, draft this guy and just build the team around him. I mean, the perfect formula of getting a quarterback and first year didn't really look like he was going to be anything. Second year got a little better, but by that third year, he really was able to blossom because the team built it around him and really, that's obviously very good for what a quarterback can do from a skill point, or from a skill standpoint, but what's also probably good for his mental, letting him know that, you're being dropped into a situation where we brought you here for a reason. So obviously we saw the fruits of that last year with Josh Allen just going absolutely dummy. And we obviously saw on the other side, we saw Pittsburgh, hit their 11-0 and whatnot. And then just kind of fell apart. Became a laughingstock after that Browns loss in the playoffs. You got Juju and Chase Claypool just being on some TikTok BS. But that being said, I still think obviously they lost James Conner this year, but I still think Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a good team. I think that AFC East is arguably the toughest division in all of football between the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers can rip off 10 wins this season. That's just Mike Tomlin pack. They've never been sorry since since I've been alive. And they brought Ben Roethlisberger back. They obviously Najee Harris. They drafted that running back. Offensive line is still really questionable. I just saw some news actually earlier today that TJ Watt's about to sign himself a bag as well. But I just think the Bills are a little that much better. They're obviously going to be in that AFC Championship conversation, but I think the Steelers are right there as well. I think the Browns are right there, obviously in that Chiefs conversation, Titans and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't think the Steelers do something that crazy. I don't think they're bringing home any type of ring, but do we see the Steelers being like an under 500 team? Like, no, I don't think so. I think Buffalo does come out on this. I don't know. That's just my take there.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add to this. I think this is pretty much Ben's last ride. I'm pretty sure he's going to hang it up after this season.
Shout out Roethlisberger, man.
Yeah,
right.
For real. And I just think at this point in their careers, I just think the Bills are a lot better, more complete football team. So just give me the Bills here. 28-20 is what I have.
Yeah, I think the Bills go away here, 28-14. I kind of got this one as a blowout. I actually think the Steelers are going to be a below 500 team this year. Listen, I heard you guys talking all that on the Steelers. I think they're good. Roethlisberger, of course, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he is way past his prime at this point. I think he's just getting too old. I'm not sure about this team. They're aging. TJ Watt is good, but I don't know. Something about the Steelers team this year, I just feel like the end of last year could run into this season and could bite them in the ass. I don't know.
Word. I think both these teams are actually trending upwards, my personal opinion. I mean, Bills obviously almost tasted some glory last year. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be so salty for this run back this year after what happened last season. I mean, we got to, week 11? They were 11-0 and then just dumped from there. So, I mean, in that organization from top to bottom, no one has to feel good about that. So I really feel like they were going to put in a good working offseason, just try to get things right and just try to continue success into the postseason. So hopefully we see it here. I got Bills winning this. With that being said, 17-14. I think it's going to be a low score. Why? No reason, dude.
Yeah, I can't really exactly pinpoint the score for this one, but hey, said in all, whatever happens with the Steelers season, man, big shout out to Ben Roethlisberger, first ballot Hall of Famer, man. Been watching him since I was a kid. Just don't go running in any parks around him. But that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next game. We are talking the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. I actually got a low-scoring game here. I got 17-10 49ers. And the only reason that is I think the 49ers win, surely just based off the fact that I think it's a better team. I mean, listen, this is a team that's 2 years removed from being in the Super Bowl. I think they easily could have gotten there last year if it wasn't for all the injuries they had, because at the end of the day, listen, people say what they want about Jimmy G, but all in all, man, Kyle Shanahan is the star of that team. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably the top 2, top 3 coaches in the league just as far as the scheme. Obviously, his dad, Mike Shanahan, Hall of Fame coach, won some chips and he's cut from that cloth. So I'm not saying Jimmy G isn't a big part of this equation. It's just, hey, if you can be a game manager, he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes for this team to go out and win football games. They're a very strong run-heavy team, and they got their pieces back on defense. Obviously, injuries and whatnot. Like you say, Nick Bosa finally coming back. Hopefully, he's able to stay healthy. He's going to be scary. This will be a full year where Trent Williams will be able to be on the offensive line for them. Obviously, a Hall of Fame left tackle, multiple-time All-Star. But at the end of the day, man, I just – with what the Lions have going on, I mean, we don't really need to talk about what's going on there. It's, they got Jared Goff and a couple other guys. I think they have a young team and, give them a couple years to figure some things out. They got some pieces in place potentially. Went out and drafted Penei Sewell to bolster up that line, see how he turns out. But 49ers are just a better team here. I'm only saying 17-10 just because I feel like the 49ers are still a little bit cold. They're a little stale. They're going to really need this game as a full unit, after having all those injuries last year and letting that team really go out and play a full 4 quarters. So, yeah.
I think the 49ers are about to be a really good football team. Yeah. I think within the first couple of games, I think you see Trey Lance get in there and just he's
how many games? What week?
Probably either week 4, maybe even sooner, I would say. But
that's crazy.
The Lions have nothing going on. and I mean nothing. I can't name 5 players on that team, to be honest. I think the 49ers are just going to do whatever they want here. I think they put up quite a bit of points. I have it 34-10 49ers here.
Wow. Well, that's a take. I mean, I got you 17-10. I'm right with you, Raji. I got the same exact score. I think the Niners obviously are going to be a better team. I think once Trey Lance gets in there, he adds a whole new dynamic to this offense. I feel like Jimmy G has been good for them, and like you said, he's a game manager. He just goes out there and he wins, does what he has to do. But when Trey Lance gets in there and he starts moving around the pocket, throwing the ball 95 yards down the field, I think this offense is going to be good, along with the defense, which we already know is really good. So I think the Niners, give them a couple weeks, and they're going to be a top team in the league. But for this first week, I just got them 17.
I might be tripping, bro. I don't think Trey Lance plays at all this year, dude. I don't even think
you're crazy.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, he played 2 games in the last 3 years, bro. Like, there's no way. He needs to sit for a year, bro.
There's no way they went Jimmy G play all season.
Paying him a lot of money, bro. I want his ass on the field. If I'm paying him that
performance. Let's see what happens. Jimmy G might go out there and ball out, but quarterback situation removed. This 49ers are literally a Super Bowl team. They were all just injured. So, I mean, they got everyone back, and it's going to be insane. So, I got high hopes for this team this year. Detroit Lions, again. Dan Campbell coming in, stealing some kneecaps his first year, trying to get some dubs. Preseason did not treat the Lions well either. So it's just been tough over there, and it's gonna
be Jared Goff though, bro. That must be tough, bro. That's gotta be tough, dog.
And going from the Rams to the Lions, like that's a stinky.
Jared Goff though, bro. I'm a big Jared Goff guy for some reason.
I don't know. Maybe he'll go in there. Maybe he's got some good leadership and can help.
Maybe he had a revenge tour, man.
Besides DeAndre Swift, I don't know who's going to touch the ball for the Lions. So we'll just kind of have to.
That dude caught a body today, allegedly. Killed someone.
Allegedly.
So I guess we'll see what's going on. That might fuck up my fantasy draft. But I got Niners winning 14-10 here. I think it's going to be a low score. Again, no reason. Just first week vibes there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We are talking the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. And I mean, listen, dude, I could give a rat's ass about this game. Bengals, I want to watch Joey Burrow. But that's just not a good football team. The Vikings, I mean, what have they done, man? It's been 2-3 years of just mediocrity. Some weeks Kirk Cousins look like Joe Namath. Other weeks look like Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? So I do like some of the pieces the Vikings have. Obviously, with Justin Jefferson and whatnot, they have the pieces. But this is going to be another situation, man. Of it's going to be week by week of what kind of Kirk Cousins are we going to get? You know what I'm saying? We get Kirk Cousins, we get first Cousins. What are we getting here? And from the Bengals side of things, man, it's just another thing. They're so far removed from being anything competitive. I mean, they got a couple years left, especially in that division. If that organization is smart, they should realize that We don't have to put anything competitive on the field for a couple of years. We're not going to be able to compete with them. Let's just keep being ass, get these draft picks, build a team around Joey B. But I mean, I got Vikings winning here. I think 14-10, something like that, 13-10, because I don't care.
Yeah, for me, I think this is going to be another shootout. Both offenses are super stacked. With the Vikings, you got Adam Thielen, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Dalvin Cook, which is just an absolute monster.
Mammoth.
On the other side, you got Joey B coming back from injury, which might be a little shaky to start off. But you do have the Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd. So I think both these teams can sling the ball pretty effectively here. In this spreadsheet I got pulled up here, I got Vikings 30 to Bengals 27. So that might be a hot take in itself, but give me the Vikings here.
Yeah, I really wanted to give this game to the Bengals. I really wanted to see Joe Burrow come out and have a really good game. I just don't think it's going to happen. I got the Vikings going 2017. I don't know why. I just couldn't convince myself to pick the Bengals here. I think it is going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think both these offenses, while they are stacked, quarterback play just might be questionable. Kirk Cousins is always questionable. And Joe Burrow coming back from a really nasty injury, just not so sure how he's going to be able to compete week one here. But 2017 Vikings.
Yup, I got the same exact thing here, 2017 to the Vikings here. And just exactly what Twiggy said, both these offenses have some firepower, and they're going to put up some tugs this year. Super excited to see Joey B get some touchdowns. Hopefully they can keep that boy healthy. But yeah, Vikings win this game one way or the other, whatever that score looks like.
Yeah, let's not break any legs this year. Shout out Joey B. Hopefully he's comeback tour and runs up some numbers. So going to go ahead and move on to the next game. That is the Carolina Panthers at my New York Jets. And I mean, listen, I'm obviously a Jets fan, and I want to see him do good and whatnot, but I think I have the Panthers coming out on top here. One, just because of how fresh everything is for the New York Jets, and been an unfortunate offseason where between the draft and the free agents, I think they made honestly, I think they had one of the best off seasons out of any team in the league, between obviously drafting Zach Wilson at 2, getting Elijah Vera Tucker at number 14, and really getting, I think, some solid pieces in free agency between Carl Lawson, Corey Davis, and a few other guys. So I see the potential there, but some of these guys, Lawson out for the season, a couple other guys with some really bad injuries, and just being Zach Wilson's rookie year, Salah's first rookie head coach stint. We're going to be lucky if the Jets win 4 or 5 games. But that being said, I do kind of like the Panthers, because last year, man, offensively, the Panthers were pretty good, man. Pretty good. I like Matt Rule as a head coach. I like Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator. I mean, I think the Panthers have something brewing here. They have some really young pieces on defense, but I think they're going to be all right. Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown, they drafted last year, had some pretty solid rookie seasons. So, and I just think they're better. I just think, between Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, the pieces that the Panthers have on offense, the Jets aren't going to be able to match anything like that. And Sam Darnold, man, just revenge toward you. He's about to get that back on him. You traded me. And so I don't know. We'll see. Panthers, I think, will have an interesting season, because they pretty much just plug and played Teddy Bridgewater for Sam Darnold. So obviously, if we can get a full 17 games of a healthy Christian McCaffrey, I think the Panthers will be all right.
Yeah, these are two teams I really just do not give less of a fuck about. But give me the Panthers here, 24-17.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, the Jets are going to suck. The Panthers are going to be about 500, but this is going to be, I think, a pretty competitive game. I got Panthers 21-13 here. Sam Darnold revenge game. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to have a game. I think, like you guys are saying, this Panthers offense is pretty underrated. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league, hands down. Can run the ball. He can catch the ball. I think he's just going to be an absolute beast this season after having a lot of games off last season. Like you guys said, 21-13, I got Panthers.
Same. I got Panthers winning this 20-10 here. I just want to see these Panthers be good. Just point blank. Like, they got the pieces. They just got to make it happen at this point. And these New York Jets, man, I've been watching some behind-the-scenes YouTube action, take flight, Jets one drive type action. And like I got some hype for these Jets, but just like Raji's saying, I think 4 games is a realistic expectation for this team. They got young pieces, and give it some years, give it some time. Jets could be some hitters here. So I don't know. I do think they're gonna steal some games this year, not this one, especially against Sam Darnold.
No, I agree for sure. Definitely going to be hyped to watch it, though, see what my Jets can do this season. But going to move on to the next game. We're talking Tennessee Titans in the Arizona Cardinal vicinity. 2 teams kind of shook some things up over the offseason. Arizona Cardinals was one where I told you guys multiple times last year that you were smoking crack for thinking Kyler Murray was going to run up some sort of MVP campaign or anything like that. I mean, the Cardinals were exactly what I thought they were going to be. They have the offensive power to have those games. Like I said, they're kind of cut from that Seattle mode where offensively they're going to go out and score points. It's going to be flashy. It's going to be electric. But come crunch time and down the season, the boys in the trenches, that front 7, that offensive line. Now they went out and dressed. They got J.J. Watt. They got A.J. Green. I think they got a cornerback as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they got some older guys to go ahead and be in that locker room surrounded by some young guys to, be able to establish some sort of mentality and toughness. And I mean, obviously with the Tennessee side of things, I mean, these are guys that are going to be in that AFC championship conversation. They have been for the last 2 years, went out and got Julio Jones. Now, my only thing is I don't think Tennessee is I think, addressed enough on defense. That was obviously another huge concern for them last year, just as far as the secondary. I know they went out and got Desmond King at some point. So that's a huge addition. But the front 7 is still a little weak for me. And let's see if that offensive line can stay healthy for Tennessee Titans. The boy there, what's the guy there up front, Conrad or something? I don't remember the boy's name. He's got the podcast and everything, but he can stay healthy. Jack Conklin or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. What I had. What's that?
Taylor Lewan busting with the boys, shout
busting
out.
with the boys, that guy. But all in all, what I got here, man, I got 27-20 Tennessee Titans. I don't know why, man. I like the Titans a little more here. And the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray. I don't think Kyler Murray is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I love him, dude. Love watching him play. It's absolutely electric, but just that style is not gonna win you championships, man. We got to look at who's been winning championships the last 5 years. They don't play like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, for opposing defenses here, it's going to be a nightmare scheming against the Titans. I don't know how you're going to plan a defense around having Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, and A.J. Brown on the same team. It's just going to be super hard to defend. Yeah. I think it's going to take a few weeks for that to click, though. With that being said, I think the Arizona Cardinals probably at this point in time probably had the better team. I like Kyler Murray quite a bit. And I just think, I think this could be another sneaky shootout scenario. But give me the Cardinals 31-24 here.
Woo!
Wow. Actually, Twigg, I think you made a lot of good points. I think the Cardinals do have maybe a better all-around team here, talking offense and defense. But I think the Titans' offense is just so powerful. I think they come out. I got them winning 38-24 here. I just think the Titans are just going to put up an absolute burger on them. I think Derrick Henry might come out and run 250 yards like he always seems to do. I just think it's going to be –
that guy is such a freak, dude.
So good. I think the Titans are going to come out here and put up 38 on them, man. They're going to take it home for week 1.
Damn, I actually got that exact opposite take as Twigg here. I'm going 31-24 Titans W here. And to the same points Cruz kind of made here. Titans offense, obviously not the issue. But the Cardinals got a really good offense, and this Titans defense has got some holes in it. So I think they're going to put up some points as well. Look for that sneaky shootout like Twigg said, but Tennessee gets that dub here, boys.
Come on. Shooter. That's fun. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We're talking Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns. I think this might be the game of the week. Definitely excited to see this one. Obviously, there's not a lot to be said about Kansas City and what they're going to be able to do this season. Shout out Andy Reid's son. But Cleveland Browns on that side of things, I think they're going to have a really good year. Second year of Stefanski at the head coach. Obviously, between them and maybe Indianapolis, they probably have the best offensive line in the NFL. My only concern is going to be, I think, a little bit of their secondary. I do think they have some pieces back there, but any secondary is in trouble when you're going up against Kansas City and Tyreek Hill and such. But Browns have a good front seven. And so, I mean, all in all, if we're looking for a score here, what do I have here? I have 31-24 Kansas City, and I don't even know if it really gets to that many points because I also wouldn't be shocked if that game goes the other way as well. If Cleveland walked out of this game as a winner, I wouldn't be surprised. I really think Cleveland's going to be good. Baker Mayfield coming into his 4th year. I think finally last year we saw and are starting to realize that no, Baker will never be a Patrick Mahomes or some of those guys like that. But the dude knows how, especially in the middle of the field. He's so accurate. And just, I don't know. I think both these teams are going to be great. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a potential AFC championship matchup right here. Obviously with Odell, get a full season of him. I still, to this day, I'm preaching. I don't think Odell's a good fit for this football team, but we'll leave that to be said. But I got Kansas City coming out on top for right now. I don't know. I could see it going both ways, but I'll stick with that.
Anytime the Chiefs are on national TV, I just want to watch. That team is just electric to begin with. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to a 3rd straight Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes is that guy, going to continue to be that guy. I think this ends up being another high-scoring game, like a couple other ones I mentioned before. Give me the Chiefs 35-28 here over the Browns.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are a dynasty in the making. They're already a dynasty. 2 straight Super Bowls. Probably going to make it 3, might make it 4. They're just a really good football team all around, as are the Browns. Definitely game of the week. I actually have this one going into OT. I think it's going to be a Chiefs 27-24 win by a field goal in OT winner here.
Ooh. Juicy. I like that. I got Chiefs winning this, obviously, here, boys. I do think the Browns are going to be a good team, but I think they're going to put up a stinker this week. I got Chiefs winning 28-13 here.
Damn.
I think they're going to have
all right, definitely like I said, game of the week. I think it will be. This will be probably the most exciting game I'm looking forward to watch. But going to move on to the next game. We're talking New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins, two teams that also shook some stuff up over the offseason. New England went out and spent over $100 million to bring in a lot of free agents. Obviously, they shook a lot up with as far as the quarterback goes, cutting Cam Newton, handing that thing over to Mac Jones, who, I mean, let's be real. I think Mac Jones, the player out of the draft, maybe besides Trevor Lawrence, I think was the most ready to go. I'm not saying I think he's going to be a bad quarterback. I just think, the product that he was his last year in Alabama is probably what he will kind of be for his career. I don't think he's ever going to blast off and be some Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, but he's efficient enough. And I think has a decent enough arm to fit right into that Belichick mold where, he might only walk away from some games where he got 180 yards, but he'll go 14 for 17, a lot of check downs. I mean, take what's there. I think the Patriots have a very deep running back core. And I mean, I think they'll be a good football team, one from the free agent side of things, and a lot of defensively. They had players coming back that opted out last year from COVID and stuff like that. So Patriots are going to be a really good football team. But on the other side of things, Miami proved last year that Brian Flores, man, is another guy. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league, just from the culture, man. You just feel something about the Dolphins. That is a very, very well-run football team, man, who have bought into that system. I think Brian Flores is one of the first guys from that Belichick tree to actually make something work as a head coach. So I think it's going to come down to Tua last year, who last year Tua had some signs of being a really good quarterback. And, I think he's another guy where maybe from a number standpoint, I don't think he's blowing the doors off anything, but they're very good defensively. They might have the best special teams unit in the league. And they went and got some pieces. They went and got Tua Will Fuller, addressed the offensive line. So I got Dolphins winning 24-20 because I think this will be a really good game. Two teams that I think they might split the season. Maybe Patriots come second time around and get that dub over them. But two really good coach football teams here, man, got good culture. But I think the Dolphins we got a year or two left of them being a really, really good football team.
Yeah, for sure. It's a work in progress for the Dolphins, I think. And in this matchup, you get a battle of the Alabama quarterbacks. You got Mac Jones versus Tua. I think this is going to be a good game for Tua to get off on a good note here. I think they just had better weapons than the Patriots as a whole. They brought in Jalen Waddle with their first pick here. They have Devontae Parker. They got Mike Gesicki. They got Will Fuller off free agency as well. So just at this point in time, I think the Dolphins are just a more complete team. I think Mac Jones sees a few speed bumps before he gets off and running here. So give me the Dolphins 27-24 here. Going to be a close game, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a very close game. I actually have the Dolphins as well, 20-17. I think it's going to be a little more low scoring than that. I think with a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, Mac Jones, and younger quarterbacks too, I think they're going to really try to keep the ball out of their hands, maybe give it to their defenses, run the ball a little bit, and keep it low scoring and try and get a first week dub. I think the Dolphins come out 2017.
100% agree with the boys here. Dolphins are going to get the dub here. I got 17-10. I am hyped to see Big Mac get that first NFL start. I think he's going to mold into exactly what the Patriots need him to be. Exactly what you said, Raji. I mean, where he has problems on the field, Belichick is just going to scheme for that. Mac Jones is going to look elite out there. So I don't think we're going to see his weakness on the field. But yeah,
that tight ends are going to be crazy. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, they're going to be able to pull some stuff off. So
that double tight end, we're about to see some scheme action going on here with the Patriots. I think a lot of other teams are going to start picking up on that shit. So
yeah, no, for sure, definitely excited to watch that game. This will be fun. The AFC AFC East North, AFC Northeast, AFC East. Right?
East.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a solid division. Obviously, the Jets are the odd man out, but you got 3 teams in that division that are going to be good. But moving on to the next game, we have the New York Football Giants and the Denver Broncos. I mean, come on now. Giants, I think, showed signs last year of being a really good team. I was on their bandwagon for a little bit. But this is another team, man. They went out and got old boy there from the Lions, and they had some really good pieces that came along last year on the defense. But again, this is going to be a season we're going to know by week 8 or 9 with Danny Dimes. You know, yeah. I mean, I agree with that as well. I mean, we got to know here soon. If Danny Dimes comes out and has been doing what he's doing the last 2 seasons, he won't make it past Thanksgiving. So, and I think the Broncos. I mean, listen, I like the Broncos a lot. Obviously, they had to figure out some stuff at the quarterback position. Now going in and bringing in Teddy Bridgewater, but all in all, I have the Broncos. I actually have the Giants winning 14-3. Which is
really?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that anymore. But, yeah, I don't know. That's what I had. That's what I put. So I'll stick with it. Fuck it.
And this is just another game that I might just skip as a whole. I really don't care much about either of these teams. I think the Giants are not going to be a good football team. I think they end up making probably a lot of moves after this season. They're probably going to move on from Danny Dimes. With that being said, I don't think Teddy Bridgewater makes it through the whole season as well. I think Drew Lock probably ends up seeing some time over the course of the season. But as of right now, I think the Broncos are just a better team. Give me a 26-20 here for the Broncos.
Wow. I have a low-scoring game here. I got a close, Broncos 14-13, but I actually am excited to watch this game. I will definitely be watching this one. I think I'm excited to see Teddy Bridgewater play. I just think this offense is loaded. You got Judy, you got Sutton, you got
Judy got to eat.
Judy's going to be good. You got Javonte Williams in the backfield along with Melvin Gordon. I think this offense is good. If that offensive line can hold it together, I'm excited to see what Teddy Bridgewater can do. So,
fair enough. I got this, boys. All right, hot take here. This is my shit bowl game of the week right here. I think this is going to be the lowest scoring game of the week. I got a Giants W here, 7-3.
That about to be a snooze fest and a half.
I think both these teams just aren't going to have it going on. You know, week 1, I agree with everything you boys are saying. You know, over the course of this season, to be able to develop, get some W's, I think it's really good for Drew Lock to see Teddy Bridgewater throw the ball accurately starting. So get him in the room with Drew Lock next couple of years. Maybe he'll decide to throw the ball on target. We'll see what happens, boys.
Actually be efficient.
But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We're talking the New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, shout out Drew Brees riding off into the sunset, hanging that career up. Probably going to be on Monday Night Football or something, whatever he did. But obviously bringing in Jameis Winston last year and now kind of giving him the start. which I think is a no-brainer over Taysom Hill. I mean, come on, dog. And obviously, I think the Saints still have some questions. I mean, they still need to. Besides Michael Thomas, I couldn't name you another receiver on that team. I think Latavius Murray just went out, or actually, he just got cut recently. So, I mean, Alvin Kamara is a beast, and he'll probably take the bulk of the offense this year, for being honest. And just defensively, I still think they have a good line. But I think the Packers are just kind of a better team here. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams' last dance, apparently, from something that but obviously Aaron Rodgers, a little drama king that he is, having the offseason he did. I just still think they're a better team, man. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to kind of do a little bit of what he did last year, and they're going to be a good team. Obviously, with the head coach, this is their third year now going into this. This is an 11-12 win football team still, I think, at the end of the day. I don't think they get over the hump and win any championship anytime soon, but let me have my score here. What I said? I said 27-14 Packers.
Yeah, I think James is going to have a little shaky start to the season. He's turnover prone as it is. I think he's going to have to shake off some rest here, and it's definitely not a great matchup against the Packers. Even this is a neutral site game as well, since all the hurricanes happen in New Orleans as well. So I think that gives it the advantage to the Packers, definitely. So give me the Packers 35-28 here. I think this ends up being a super fun game to watch.
Yeah, I think after Latavius Murray got cut from the Saints, I actually see this offense looking like the Panthers offense from 2 years ago with Christian McCaffrey. I think Alvin Kamara ends up with like 300 touches, 100 receptions if he can stay healthy.
Sure.
That is, if he can stay healthy. But I think that offense is going to be all right. I think the Saints end up at about a 500 team, but I got the Packers going away here, 31-21.
Damn. Yeah, same. I got the Packers here, 31-17. Obviously, Packers making it to this championship game year after year. It kind of just seems like it's tradition to go into the NFC Championship and beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl. So a little bit tragic, obviously trying to beat that hump, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Saints steal this game here, but I'm going to stick with the Packers. I'm going 31-17.
True. I like that. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and move on to the next game. We're talking the LA Rams versus the Chicago Bears. Obviously, LA Rams didn't really do too much this offseason besides just swapping out Jared Goff for Matt Stafford, which I think does make them a better football team. You guys know I was on the Rams all season last year. I really, really thought they were a good football team. They obviously got a big win in the playoffs. Just weren't able to get it done. And I mean, listen, Sean McVay is a great coach. I think what has kind of happened now is, the first 2-3 years Sean McVay was in the lead, he was so ahead of what everybody else was doing that, this was a wonder kid and all that stuff. And I think now just teams are maybe kind of starting to catch up to his brain and kind of starting to kind of recreate what he was able to do. But I mean, defensively, man, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, probably the two best players at those two positions they play at. And obviously just kind of bringing in Matt Stafford, who we would obviously love to see be able to have a chance to win, had a phenomenal career from number standpoint, at least in the Detroit Lions facility. But, on the other side of the ball, Chicago Bears, man, they got a lot to do, man. I think this season Matt Nagy is going to be on the hot seat. Unfortunately, they had some dilemma with bringing in Red Rifle there. What's his name? Andy Dalton. And I mean, they still do have some pieces on the offense. The only thing I'm concerned with is, besides Allen Robinson, they have no receiving core or anything like that.
No.
But, listen, I will go ahead and say too, I'll give a hot take as well, just to kind of make this interesting. I think in 5-10 years from now, this might sound crazy, but Justin Fields, man, I think he's going to be the best quarterback that's come out of this draft. I like this kid a lot. I think you give him a year or two and surround him with the right talent. I think that kid's got all the talent in the world. So at least this draft class, like I said, over Trey Lance, over Trevor Lawrence, I think in 10 years, Justin Fields, if everything goes well, that boy's got a good career ahead of him. I don't know if it's with Chicago or not, but so all in all, score, let me give you the score. I got to pull it up. I have the Rams winning 27-13.
Yeah, I think before things are all said and done, I think by like 3 or 4, I think you do see Justin Fields in there. Listen, this Rams defense is elite. I think Andy Dalton's going to be absolutely running for his life this entire game. I wouldn't be shocked to see Aaron Donald get like 2 or 3 sacks just to start off the season on a good note. I don't think the Bears are going to have a lot for anything here. But I like the Rams just to win this outright 30-23. I don't even think the Bears would have even put up 23. I'm not even sure why I wrote that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'm actually very excited for the Rams this season. I think McVay getting rid of Jared Goff, getting him out of here. I think Matt Stafford coming in with the arm strength that he's got and the receiving core that they got, I think is going to be very exciting. I'm excited to see what McVay can draw up for this offense. They're going to be a really good team, like you guys are saying. I think the Bears got some work to do. Justin Fields is going to let him sit, but we'll see him at some point this season as well and see what Matt Nagy can draw up for him. With all that being said, I think the Rams do take this one home. I got it 28-17 Rams.
Yeah, I thought Matt Nagy was actually on the hot seat last season. I really could have swore he was going to get fired this offseason. Just did not happen. But this Bears window to start winning games and having success is closing. I really feel like they're going to blow this sucker up soon. They already got the quarterback for the rebuild. They just need everything else. But I don't know. They got to try to win some games this year. I don't know if they will. Rams are a better team, obviously, in my opinion. I'm going 2010 Rams win here. Hopefully Soldier Field is all right. I heard Kanye was out there fucking it up. So hopefully property managers fix that turf up.
Just making sure, hey, no child left behind. And that's, yeah. All right, man. With that being said, though, we are going to move on to the last game of this first NFL week, and that is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I had on my score sheet, I had 21-14 Baltimore. I am going to reverse that score. I think the Las Vegas Raiders come out a little hot here, man. I think the Raiders have something to prove. I think Derek Carr is an above-average quarterback. I mean, he can be. I don't think he's in the Kirk Cousins bracket and all that. I think he's a little better than that. And I mean, they were able to make it some decent enough pieces on as far as the line and stuff goes this season. Darren Waller, I mean, we're talking and whatnot. But the only reason I kind of am guessing the upset one, because I kind of needed one this week, and two, I just think with everything that's kind of happened with the Ravens offseason, losing Dobbins. Didn't somebody just go down today as well?
Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if this is going to be on Lamar Jackson to go out, they still have been able to address Jack at wide receiver. And, I mean, if you guys don't go out and they don't get him a premier receiver, I mean, like I said, I really like Lamar Jackson. I love the play style, the Mike Vick kind of vibe. But dude's got to be able to sit in the pocket and throw that ball, man. You're not going to win championships running like that all day, man. One, you got to be able to stay healthy. But at the end of the day, man, you got to be able to go throw 20 completions. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he can't do that, but who's he throwing to at the end of the day? Hollywood Brown, I think, is awesome, but that's it, man. He's not, that's an over-the-top guy. You need a possession guy and a big dude or something like that. I still like the tight ends they have and whatnot, and I like their offensive line. In all reality, my gut tells me the Ravens win this game, but just for this purpose, I'll go 21-14 Raiders.
Yeah, as you just hit on, the Ravens have like pretty much zero depth at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost tempted to fly down there and try out for the running back. Like they're about to sign Le'Veon Bell off the street. That's how desperate they are. It's pretty much Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews versus the world at this point.
Yeah.
Even with that being said, I think they can beat this Raiders team pretty handily. I have it listed as 24-20 right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Ravens dub here, regardless of all the injuries.
I agree with you, Twigg. I think Lamar is just underestimated. I think he can sit in there and throw the ball, Raji. I think he can do it. I'm confident Lamar MVP. I think he's capable of doing just about anything in this league. He's proven that time and time again. I mean, I think he comes out here and he shows he's going to run this
1-4 in the playoffs. But
well, okay. But anyway, I think he's going to come out and win 34-27. I think this is a high-scoring game. I think he shows out this week.
I got this as a close little sucker. I'm taking the Raiders here, not the Ravens. Raiders win this 2017. And this Raiders team has kind of just been fringe good for the past 4 years with John Gruden. So we're kind of just waiting to see them be good. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I really like their receiving core. They got some solid pieces on defense. And exactly to the points you guys said, I mean, tight end Mark Andrews is literally wide receiver 1 for these Baltimore Ravens. I agree with Cruz too. I think Lamar Jackson has all the ability. He's got no one to throw it to. Why would he stand in the pocket to get sacked, when he can run? So I don't know. The Baltimore Ravens have to pick up some receivers, figure something out, maybe even get a second tight end, just another big dude. Try that out. I don't know what the move is, but they're going to lose this game.
I agree as well. So, all right, boys, that was fun. That has been the first installment of our Demeat Picks. We are going to be doing this every single week for the next 17 weeks. So we're happy to, one, be back, and two, be able to bring this to y'all to obviously give our takes and our insights. Also, stay tuned for some more lock picks we're going to be doing. We'll get a little more into the spread and some betting for y'all, but we're going to be doing this every week. Lock in your Demeat Picks. That being said, and I can't wait to say this, the fuck out of here.
Perfect.